We also have switch, right? Let's look at switch. So I'm going to copy this, copy. So that's how it is. So programmer, you don't need to just memorize everything. Switch, you just have to know how. Sorry, they are being worked, right? So when you come here, let's paste it here. All right, so I think we need to set a couple of. So let's come here and copy this. I'll explain it to you, don't worry. And then paste it right at the top here. Okay, so we had a value, initial value for the state. So the state variable we have is enable, and then set is enable. So by default it sets it as false, right? So this function is going to help us to update it, right? And then here we have a function called toggle switch. This function will call the set variable and then pass in the previous state, and then we will just toggle it to the opposite, right? So if the default status or the previous status was false, then it will now be true. If it was true, it will be false, so it will toggle it, right? Yeah. So now I think we should give a try on it. All right, so as you can see on my device, see it's at the default section, so you can now toggle it to, and then false, true, false, true, false, true. So that's how switch works. So alongside the course, we might need it. Even if you don't need it, we actually know how it works now. And then we also have modal, right? It's also a common thing you have been seeing, but then you don't know it's modal. Don't worry, I'll take you through how you can use it. All right, so it's basically like a component that we shows it up when you want it. Like you can create a component, but then by default you hide the component, and when something or when it's needed, then you call it, right? So basically that is how it is. So I want to set a variable for it, so let's call it modal, and then let's set modal to use state. By default let's set it to false. All right, and then let's come down here. So here I want to set modal to, right, and then the visible to the modal, right? So by default it's false, right? False, say false. So by default it's false, right? Then let's give some view here. Oops, damn, what's happening? So view here, inside the view let's just add some text here, and then inside this text we're just going to say we're just going to say we are in our modal view or section, right? Oops. All right, so let's save it, and then what I want us to do is I want us to give a button here, or we should use the switch. Okay, let's use the switch. So it means let's use the switch, so it's enable. So let's set the modal to is enable, right? So when we enable the switch, then we are going to toggle it. So I want to copy this switch and paste it right here so that we can go back and forth, right? So now let's try our hands on it. So on my device, when I switch it, you see you see we are in our modal view, right? So when we toggle it back, you see we are now back to, so in our model view we are now back. So what I want us to do now, I want us to give this some background. say background color of, let's say, orange, so that you can know the difference. So let's toggle it. See this one, when you click on the back, it doesn't go back, right? But on normal screens, you can click on the back and then you can go back, right? But this one, unless you set the modal or the visibility to false before, so with the help of this toggle, you can set the is enabled to false inside this one. So assuming we uncomment this one, then there is going to be a problem, because once we switch it on, there is no way we can go back. See, we are good, we are stuck. That is how the model works. So let's bring it back. Now we can go back, right? And then we also have some animations for it. So you can see animation type. So we have slide, feed. So let's look at slide. So on eyes on my device, so you click on it, drops from the down, you close it, goes back to the button, right? See the animation? Yeah. So this is how it works. We also have the fade. Let's look at that one too. Okay, some fading, face in and out, right? So this is what I want us to look at. And then the stylings, I've not yet bothered much, but then I think we've done some stylings now. Now I want us to look at a simple thing, and then maybe you'll bring this video to an end, and then you'll meet in the grand finale, right? So you actually meet on the chat app, and then I will also take you through some stuff. That is images, right? How you can display images there. So because we are going to be displaying a lot of images, so let's look at how we can do it. So I've been saying so let's work on it. So we are going to import our image, and then we're going to use our image here. Good. So let's go in and then import our image here. Image. So I want us to remove the modal because you are not going to be using it anymore or any longer. So let's remove it. Let's remove the switch as well. Let's have some space here. So image, all right. So the image have a source, and then the source is where we are going to be. For now, I just want us to use some, let me say, images, or some online image or something. So let's copy the image address. Let's come here. So it's an object, has URI, right? So you pass in the image. Oops, it's boring, very long. Really, what's actually happening? Actually want copy image. Oops, no, it's not what I want to do. Copy, not link, image address. Good, this is what we want. So let's save it. Okay, so you see on the device we are not seeing anything, right? So now let me close this one. What I want us to do is give it some styles, right? So oops, style, and here I like using inline styles. Once I'm done, then I can cut it and paste it down below, because it's actually burden for me to go up and down, you get it? But then it's your choice. You can just go along by just tapping into the styles dot and give it a name, and then you come and work on it down below, right? So here I want us to give it a height of, let's say, 50 pixels. And have you realized inside in React Native we can deal with percentages fine, but then when we are dealing with pixels, we are just type in 50 the number, you don't add. You see when you're coming from a web development background, there you used to have something like pixels like this and those stuff. My friend, doesn't work like that here. All right. So, or you're not my friend, you're actually a friend to me, right? So let's give the width as 50 as well. Let's save it. All right, so as you can see on the device, we have some image here, right? So let's increase the height and the width to 100 so that you can see it. Oops, not 10, so that you can see it better, right? All right, so as you can see, it's very pretty image, right? You can style the image by giving it some border radius on all those stuff. So border radius, so just don't like typing much. So border radius, you see we are getting some small rounded corners, right? So you can increase it to 50 to get an actual circle. So in React Native, which we are using Expo, if you want to give a round object or want to give an object a round curved surface, right, a curve parameter, then you have to give at least the border radius should be at least half of the dimension, yeah, right? So here you are using 100, right? So you have to give it half of it at least. When you give it, let's say 48, let's try and check. Even though you can see it's actually not a circle, right? It's not a circle, but then when you give it 50, you see it becomes a complete circle, right? So that is it. Let's try and do something here. Even I know it won't work, but then let's try and write something inside this text image, right? So let's say this is an image, right? Let's save it. Oops, we are receiving an error. So let's read the error. It says the image component cannot contain children. If you want to render content on top of the image, consider using image background component, right? So let's go and use image background component. So back to our documentation, we have image background component here. It's basically like the image as we saw. So let's come here and change this one to image background. Let's copy it. Now let's paste it here as well as here. Let's save it. Now let's give this image a style. Let's give it a color of white so that we can see the color. So oops, so FFF, and let's save it. So as you can see, let me increase it. So increase it to 200 or 300 will be fine. Yeah, so as you can see there, this is an image text inside it. That is how it is. You can give it some blur radius to 3. Let's see what happens. We are getting some blur, right? Blur effect. So that is how it is. So if you want to write in images, then we are going to use image background, right? And then let's see if you want to actually use a source that is not from a link, let me say address or something, then we are going to use the required type to use from the React Native. You already know that, right? Oops, let me see. We are going to go into our assets, and then which one should we use? Let's use the icon.png from right. Oops. All right, you see it on the device showing nicely here. So this is another way of reaching an image, right? You can use the URI method, right? Then you can also use the local method, right, to get it on your machine. Okay, let me check out. I'm getting dry. So if anything else we need to tackle, okay, we have an activity indicator here. This will be pretty cool. So as you can see, we have some different types of indicators here. Very nice one. So I would like us to pick one of them. Which one should we pick? Okay, let's pick the last one. Okay, copy, and then let's paste it here. Then mind you, we have to import it, right? So then let's delete the switch and import activity indicator, and let's save it. All right, as you can see down below on my device, we have some green activity indicator there. The size, we can also use pixels, so let's say 50. Okay, 1050 is pretty not much as I want it. Let's increase it. Okay, so you see, so that's how the activity indicator works. You can also give it visibility, I think, or active or animate it. Okay, animating. So when you give it false, then it won't show, right? Oops, am I not doing the right thing? Okay, all right. So as you can see on the device, it's not showing, but then now let's set it to false, true, sorry, and then let's see, check. All right, see, it's fine, very nice there. Okay, pretty good. So I think I would like to end this video too, and then probably I'll check if I left something out. Then you see me next on another video, so that I'll explain it to you. But if I don't, then please check out on the chat app, and then let's build this chat app, right? We're going to build it. It's very nice. I'm going to show you how it works. Very pretty. It's actually a real world application. I'm not going to just give you the basics and leave it there. No, we're going to teach you, and then even how your device can detect network connections and all those stuff, right? So for this and more, see you next. Bye bye.